One main world, one creation dream.
Let's start with the objectives for this class. Today we are going to have to work in most of the triggers that we are going to learn. So today's class is going to be just focused on triggers. The cool thing about this is that a lot of them are going to be separate triggers that you can use in your map. We're not using all the scripts or all the triggers that I use for this map, so that's going to be very useful. We are going to start with brain triggers. You know what it means, brain in here. It's just the main systems, the system that controls everything, that handles all the systems. Then we are going to learn the basic building stage triggers. That means that you will be able to have a building scenario right now, the building stage after the map starts. And then we are going to learn how to do the upgrade, downgrade triggers. With that, you don't have to worry. You are going to have also upgradable blocks that you can use for a lot of games, not for just this kind of games, also for fighting games, for tag games, for a lot of things, okay? Then guys, in the overview of the class, we are in the week number 3. We are in the class number 5. That means that tomorrow is the last class. Remember, tomorrow, same channel. And in the next class, we are going to learn, actually not this, we are going to learn some basic things that are going to be the combat stage triggers. That's going to be the main focus of the next class. But remember guys that we are going to probably learn more things. As an example, if you have questions, if you want to ask me how a trigger works, probably if we get enough time in that class, I will be able to explain everything on detail, okay? Now guys, let's move ahead. Let's start with the brain triggers. And also I see that Twan Hai is here, so welcome, hi. Oh, I see, you sleep on 10 p.m. So you will have enough time right now, I think, I'm not sure, but it seems that you are from Vietnam, according to the writing of your name. So I think we are going to have enough time. Oh, I see. And you want to tell us how did you do that, Davon? How do you get extra 13 things in Multiverse? All right, guys. So, like in a small, in shortness, like in resume, this is how our system is going to work. As always, we always got everything ordered into a folder, into a trigger set, and the trigger set is many word systems, okay? So, in many word systems, we already covered some parts, as an example, doing the registration for the players. So the players are going to have some variables when they access to the map, and it's going to be easier with that to edit a lot of things, okay? But now, we are going to do an extra mile. We have a couple of things extra that we have to do in main systems, okay? First, we need to create the brain. The brain is which is going to tell the game, okay, so this is going to be the stage that is going to happen right now. Next is going to be the next one. And when this happens, when the state change, I need you to set up those rules. It's the boss of the game is which is going to tell all the other triggers what they have to do or what those triggers need to be active, or when, sorry, those triggers need to be activated. So how it works, first, we are going to have a timer. As always, we already created this timer that was game start, and we are going to continue using that one, okay? So it's very easy. The trigger works like this. Whenever the time is 0, remember that this timer is repeating itself a lot of times, but whenever the time is 1, we are going to spawn the players into the spawning area, and we are going to tell the game, okay, try to execute all the different stage. And that's it. As you see, it's very simple. But the cool thing about this is that we are going to have 2 triggers more. Those triggers are going to be actually like the second parts, like children's from this one. And those are going to check a condition, okay? So if game status is equals to 0, it's going to execute any building. If game status is equals to 1, sorry, I forgot to change this. We are going to execute the combat stage. And what is the first thing that we are going to do? As soon as as an example, a building scenario starts, we are going to change game status, that is a variable that handles the status, to the part number 2. That means that we are going to enter in building a scenario, and we are going to run some inventory rules. So every scenario is going to have their own inventory, and we are going to turn on the building rules. As you see, it's just the same trigger. The difference is that they are going to activate different things, okay? All right, so I see that you are speaking about the Chinese version. Oh well, I didn't know that, but probably it's because the Chinese prohibition. So right now in China, if you are the children, according to the rules of the government, you cannot play. If you are the children, you cannot play more than 4 hours. I think it is, yes. More than 4 hours per week, any kind of game, or else, I mean, all the games, or yeah, it works for all the games if I'm not wrong. So if you are the children in China, you only can play for 4 hours video games at week. So I think they do it for that reason. All right, guys. So let's start and let's do in the practice this. Let's move ahead and let's switch to MiniWord. And we are going to start with this, guys. We are going to start with the triggers section. Right, and please, Davon, explain us what is that book that you mentioned before, so we will be able to take a look in it. All right, guys, so check the screen right now. Okay, no, don't check the screen right now because it's not loading yet, but now it's loading, okay? So, first, we will need to access to the trigger section, okay? So remember, guys, we already organized that. Okay, so as we already organized all the triggers in different folders, it's going to be easier, okay? So just access to developer tools, then move ahead and move to the triggers section, okay? In the triggers section, we got all the systems, probably those are empty, but we are going to move to the one that says main systems, okay? In main systems, we already create all the other triggers after starting here to here. So we are going to start with the brain one, okay? So what we are going to do with brain? Remember, we already create that, but probably if you didn't create, just create a trigger and put the name brain on it, or you can put whatever name you want it, okay? Welcome, Nguyen. Bantuan, welcome to the class. Now let's do the next thing. We are going to add, as always, as we are going to check a timer, we are going to add just designate timer here. Once you add it, you are going to select here which timer we are going to use, and for this game we are only using one, that is game start, and we are going to use that to start the game. Then we are going to add some condition. As always, the condition is going to be very simple, just to be sure that the timer is in 0. Something that I forgot to tell you, or actually I didn't, but I want to remind you, is that this timer at the beginning needs to be repeated timer as true. Okay, guys, remember we had this on the first class, and it's very important that this is going to be at first time, okay? So very important, guys. When you have a timer that doesn't repeat, you will have the way to check when the timer goes to 0. But if the timer repeats, it's not going to work with 0, so you always have to check the number 1 instead, okay? When it left 1 second. And that's what we are going to do here. So just add on here a new action, okay, MiniWord, and you are going to go to tools. In tools, you are going to go to determine timer time, okay? And when you are in timer time, okay, what happened? My mouse is not working fine for some reason. Okay, I think I need to move a little bit to the side so the mouse is going to have better signal. All right, and in timer time, you are going to expand this section and you are going to select game start time is equals to 1, okay? That's it. Now that you got that added, we are going to add the actions, okay, guys? So remember the last class, we create something that was at this specific trigger that was spawn all the players, okay? Remember what it's going to do is to move all the players to the location where they are going to just start the game. Okay, so we are going to move all the players. For move all the players, just hit on add a new action, then select player group and execute or operate trigger on player set. Okay, when you got this, you are going to select spawn all the players on triggers. Okay, come on, mouse, work. Okay, okay, so you are going just to select useful functions and you are going to select all players. Okay, now this is going to be executed in function player group all players, and please put here check the conditions as true. Okay, that's going to move all the players to the main section, to the they are going to spawn where they are going to start playing. Now we need to do a couple of extra actions. Okay, so for be able to doing this, you are going to stop right here and you are going to create a new trigger right here. Okay, the name of the first trigger is going to be named as ini building. Okay, just create that one for now. Okay, all right, so when you create this one, you are going to move to that one, okay, and check that I put a color and a number so I will be sure which one is it, and we are going to start creating that. Okay, so before I start creating that, just hit, we are not going to add any kind of event, guys, that's okay. Okay, now let's do this. Let's add a condition, and the condition it's going to be to check the game status. So how do you do that? Remember, just add a condition. Okay, the condition is going to be numerical comparison. Okay, I already added here, so for some reason my mouse is not working as it's supposed to be. But the condition is going to be, you are going to select in the first section variable, and you are going to add the one that is being called, or is going to be called as game status. Okay, that's the name of it. Just name it as game status. Okay, then you have to set up an equals to 0. Okay, so remember, whenever the game status is 0, that means that is a building scenario. Okay, you can see it right here. 0 is lobby, where you can buy the things. Number 1 is building, and number 3 is playing. So the first action that we are going to do for this one is just to switch the game status to the number 1. So just go here, then we are going to select on here math word trigger, I think it is, assigned, sorry. So go to assigned and you are going to select value setup. Okay, when you select value setup, what you are going to do is to just set up game status as 1. Okay, that's very important, guys. Game status needs to be 1. Okay, so now you are going to add another couple of things. Okay, so the next thing that you are going to add is a text. So remember, guys, with this we always are going to change the text that is just in the top, the timer text. Okay, so what you are going to do is just to add another setup. Okay, another value setup. So you go here, you just scroll down and you select assign. Okay, when you select assign, you are going to select set character string. Okay, so when you select that one, you are going to select in the first step just game status text. Probably you already got this variable created for the previous classes, and you are going to put the text build your own defenses. Okay, so once more, this is going to be the text that you are going to put for the scenario. Okay, so you can put whatever, as an example, build, or whatever is going to happen in this stage. In my case, is going to be build your defenses. Then we are going to start the timer again. So how do you do that? Okay, what we are going to do is to add a changer timing. Okay, so for those that don't remember how to do it, just go here, go to timer, and select change timer timing. Okay, and what you are going to do is to change timer start. Remember, we already got this variable created here. And very important, at the beginning, like the last class, on the class previously to that one, we create a system that was a gaming, okay? And in this one, we set up this. That was how much time is going to take to build this scenario. So we have to select that, is building time, okay? That is the one that we need to check for. Then we are going just to close, and we are going to add a text. Of course, I want to just explain this. As always, I put a separator on it. You only need to put one, okay? This is going to be sent by the chat, but remember, if you want to create something like I put separations here, so it's going to be more dramatic, more impressive for the player. It's going to have like more attention from him into the chat. You can do this, or you can use just one. That is the one in the middle. So this is a simple text that is going to be showing in the chat for all the players. So for this, just scroll down, go to the player group, and in player group, you are going to select the part that says display chat info to player group. Remember, it's player group, display chat info to player group. And what you are going to put on there in the first part, search for all players, so be sure that it says all players. And over here, just put the text, whatever text you want to put for the players to know what they have to do. In my case, it's build and repair your defenses. So as you see, it's almost the same that you got here, is the same text that you go here, okay? And then we are going to have more options, okay? So, did you remember this? We got like a different folders here. So we are going to turn on just the stage that we want to turn on. So remember, for opening or start any building scenario or any specific trigger set, so you don't have to do it one by one, you can do it all in one time, is you need to select player group, and you need to select activate, it's in triggers, and you need to select change trigger set status, okay? Very important, set. This one is not the correct one, this is the correct one, and remember, you are going to remember because it said set status. Okay, I already got it here, but I already added before, so I don't need to add it right now, okay? So, in the information that you need to put in is it's going to ask you to select which trigger set you want to activate. So you are going to select the one that says building stage, and you are going to keep it in on, okay? This is going to activate those triggers, so you are going to reduce the lag a lot, okay? All right, so now we are going to actually add another thing, but for this we need to move here to building stage, okay? And once you are in building stage, you are going to add a new trigger, okay? Once you add the new trigger, here, you are going to put the name of it, and it's going to be inventory building, okay? That's very important, guys. Just put the name on. Inventory building is going to be the stage that, which is going to give all the items for the player for the inventory stage. So just put it on. Once you create that, you are going to come back to this one. Just remember, for now we are going to create it, but we are not going to add content. And we are going to add a new action. The action is going to be player group. And player group, we are going to just do an operate trigger to trigger set, okay? That means that all the players are going to have that action executed, okay? And the action that we are going to have is perform inventory build. Remember, this is the one that we just created and is here. It's the one that we just created some minutes ago. For all the players, that's very important, and check the conditions as true, okay? With this, we already have our first part finished. Our brain almost finished. We left a couple of things more. Then we got to create another stage that is going to be the combat, okay? So just hit here and hit copy, okay? Whenever you copy, it's going to allow you to put the same folder, okay? So just select your main system folder, and on there we are going to have the same, but we are going to change the name when you paste it, okay? So the previous one was building, this one is going to be just to combat, okay? And what is going to be the big difference between those two is that building is just, once more, when you start the game and when you put the scenario, when you put the blocks, and combat is when the players can fight each other to conquer the game, okay? So just put the name on it, all right? And when you do it, you need to change the next information. On here, you have a 0, you have to put a 1, okay? In the condition. Next, we got a number 1 on here, so we need to put a number 2 on the combat, okay? That's very important. Then, on here, of course, you need to change the text, okay? Sorry. So, okay, my mouse is not working very well, sorry for that, guys. Okay, what is happening here? Let me, all right. Now you see this, okay? On here you can see, guys, you can see the text that you have to put on, and it's just what describe what the players have to do in that stage. In this stage is just attack the enemy stronghold, and that's going to be it. Now we got another section here, and it's the game start. Okay, so as you notice, on here we don't have that. So we have a different number, so you just need to edit, okay? On here we used to have something like this, building time. On here instead, you are going to put a number and put the amount of time that you are going to have for building for attack. In my case, it's going to be 610 minutes to conquer the enemy building, okay? And that's it. Now, next step, edit here once more. In the text, you need to put the description about what your players are going to have to do in this scenario. In my case, is attack and enter to the enemy score. That's it, okay? As you see, it's very simple. Now, as you see, it has the same information here, okay? But we got some extra triggers. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you how to do those, okay? So, now, we need to turn on the building stage. So remember, once more, we are going to select this, and here it's going to ask us in change trigger status, which status we are going to turn on. We are going to select combat stage, okay? And it needs to be on. Then we are going to select another action. So we don't have created this, so we need to create a trigger just by now. But don't worry, later we are going to implement it better. So just move to combat stage. You are going to select new trigger, and you're going to create a new trigger. The name for it is going to be, okay, really mini word. Okay. So the name of this trigger, come on, it's going to be combat stage or inventory combat. Okay. Once you got created this, don't add anything. Just move ahead. Let's go to building stage, for main systems once more. And when you are in just building systems, just access here, and you are going to select that one here, okay? So remember, in here, we got the different like triggers, so select combat stage and select inventory combat, okay? And that's it, you keep everything like it is, okay? But right now, apart from that, we need to add a couple more, okay? So, the first one is that we need to turn off all the actions for inventory building stage. So how we can do that? Just as we add here, like the one that we got here, if when you can copy and paste it, so just hit copy and paste it, okay? And paste it into the same folder. So, apart from this, the second one is going to be building stage. So you need to turn off that building stage. How you can do it? Just select the trigger set, the trigger folder. I always explain like that. And just change this to off, okay? What we are going to do with that is turn off all that systems because we don't need the triggers for the building stage anymore. Once you do that, just copy and paste. Copy and paste. The second one is going to be the same, but instead of selecting trigger set combat stage, you are going to select upgrade blocks, okay? Then copy and paste again, and you are going to select in the third one, you are going to select again downgrade blocks, okay? that will be it for this part. On this part, we already finished. Like the first part, of course, I have some extra here, but that is just for my map. That is not going to be very useful for yours because you don't have the same construction here, okay? So let me just clear the background so you are going to see better the scripts, okay? So guys, in this point, we already finished the first part of our class, okay? That was to the class, okay? So guys, first thing, we are going to access to your map once more. I remember I just exit because I wanted to show you that. Yeah, that's actually not my ring. That was my alarm. So it's something I put on just to be able to remember some things because, as you notice, I'm very distracted person. Okay. So Kawan is telling hi. So Kawan, welcome to the class. So guys, now let's start with the single player thing. And okay, miniword, why do you? Okay, no, miniword sometimes doesn't accept my clicks, doesn't allow me to access to all the things on time. I don't know why. It's like the mouse sometimes doesn't work for miniword. Okay, so now you are going to access just to the section about triggers. And remember guys, we already got this finished, but on here we only have one trigger right now, that is inventory building, okay? So what is going to happen for inventory building? Inventory building, which is going to give us the different items, but just for the inventory part, that is going to be related with building, to build blocks, to build your forts. And that's the first thing that we are going to do to the players. So we already got this, but we doesn't have implemented anything yet on it. So first thing you are going to do, you are going to take out the check mark. Okay, so it needs to be, okay, miniword is like failing in this. All right. So you are going to just take that out and you are going to access to the trigger, okay? The trigger has no actions. But what we are going to do is just add some information to the trigger, okay? So, first thing is that we have to delete everything that players has on if the player was already in the battle season before, okay? So how do you do that, okay? First, you are going to add a new trigger, a new action for that trigger, sorry. And what you are going to go is to players, and in players you are going to go to this section. The section that we are going to select is the one that says remove item, okay? So if anything happens, as an example, the players was fighting and the time was time up, they will be able to just remove all the inventory that they have, and they are going to add a new one. So first we are going to remove the item. You just hit remove item. And when you hit remove item, you are going to remove at first from players in trigger event the one that is snowball, okay? So remember, for this map, we got already here a snowball, okay? Remember that the snowball that we got here is not the same that it was in game. It's a new one, a custom one. So we are going to select that one and take out 1000 blocks of it, okay? So that's going to assure that even if the player saves some snowballs in the inventory, you will be able to take out those from there, okay? So that's going to be the first. Okay, as you realize, miniword like close everything for some reason. So then you are going to just copy and paste, and for the second, you are going to delete the first item and that the player will have in the battle part, okay? So when the player is battling, when the player is in combat stage, the first one is going to be the main weapon, okay? So when we start creating triggers, we create a couple of triggers that was player register, team red and team blue. And also we set up the rules when we complete a recipe, we got some variables from our players. So with that, we don't have to remove all the different classes items, we just need to use a variable, okay? So how do you do for select the variable? Just select function library, player, and on that you are going to have one that says player private variable item type. So you are going to select that one. And once you've got it, it's going to show you the next things. So on here, just select players in trigger event. And in the first one, you are going to select a variable that we got for the inventory one, okay? That's the one that we are going to do, all right? Then, what you are going to do next is just to copy and paste once more, and we are going to use the same 1000, but this time we are going to select inventory number 2. Then we got the same one, but this time we are going to select inventory number 3, okay? So once you add the 4 different deleted, we are going to do the next thing. We are going to set up a variable, okay? So those are going to be the variables that the player or the system is going to use. So for this, you are going to select assign and you are going to select item type setup, okay? So what it's going to do item type setup is just going to set up a variable for tell the game later to delete those specific items, okay? So in the beginning, in the first square, you are going to select players, private variable, item type, and you are going to just expand that section. And when you expand it, you are going to select players in trigger event, okay, sorry. Players in trigger event, and you are going to select inventory 1, and then we need to set up which item is going to be saved as inventory 1. So on here, you are going to select first this one that says snowball, okay? Once you select your snowball, oh sorry, no snowball, alright. Forgot that we are not selecting the inventory. You are going to select your first snow. Remember, this is not the normal snow, this is the snow that is going to be in the floor, okay? So remember, in the floor there is going to be some snow, and also for the walls we are going to have a different one, okay? So sorry, the one that we are going to use here is the snow that you put in the floor, okay? So it's, sorry, not in the floor, I'm a little bit confused with this. So let me show you with an example very quickly. You are not going to use this snow, the snow that you can find in the, or that you have in the floor. You are going to select instead the snow that you got in the walls, the one that you can place as a block, okay? So in my case, in my situation, is going to be the snow block, okay? So once more, function library, okay. Many words. I hate when that happens. Thank you so much for watching this chapter. Remember, next chapter will be in the channel, so just check the next part of the video. It's the part number 2. Bye bye.